Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Cooks by Carrie. If you're new here, I'm Carrie, and for today's video, I'm sharing how to make this delicious, easy, and healthy tomato soup from foodandwine.com. This recipe was so delicious, and I cannot wait to show you how to make it. Alrighty, let's get into this video. For this recipe, you are going to need some unsalted butter, extra virgin olive oil, a medium onion sliced thinly, 3 garlic cloves smashed. I use frozen garlic cloves that I buy at my grocery store, but you can use whatever. Some whole tomatoes canned with their juice, water, heavy cream, sugar, crushed red pepper, celery seed, dried oregano, salt and pepper, and that's all. To start off this recipe, I'm going to be adding some butter and olive oil to a pan. Now, in the recipe, they say to use a saucepan. However, I felt like a big pot like this would work best since this is a soup, so it could contain all of the liquid. Also, I did splash the butter there, so that was not my best work. Be careful, because, olive oil and butter, they will stain stuff. So anyway, you're going to cook this on, I think it said moderate heat in the recipe, and I didn't really know what that meant, so I just cooked it on, I think, like medium low, like about there. You don't want anything to burn, but you need the butter to melt. And so, yep, it just took like a second, really not that long. And you can also stir the butter occasionally, break it up if you want to. You can do whatever to make it melt faster, but it's not necessary. Okay, so now it's been a minute and my butter is all melted with the olive oil, and I'm adding in my onion. I am going to stir this around occasionally, and I'm going to cook it until it's softened. I'm also adding in my garlic at this point. This took me about 5 minutes. And you're going to know when your onions are cooked because they're going to be very squishy. Right now they're kind of tough, but they will become squishy. I guess squishy is the right word. Like, it's just a difference from this. This is more like crunchy and they become squishy, so yeah. It has now been 5 minutes. You can see these are what my onions look like when they are more translucent, and they've kind of gotten smaller, like reduced. And now it is time to add in the rest of my ingredients. But before we do that, I'd like to take this time to ask you to please subscribe, leave a thumbs up, turn that notification bell on to get notified when I post a new video. Comment down below what you'd like to see next. I have a goal of 100 subscribers, and we're about a quarter of the way there. I have about 23 subscribers right now, so you could please help me with that. That would be greatly appreciated. Alrighty, let's continue with the video. Okay, so now to the onions, I am adding in the tomatoes with the juice, water, heavy cream, sugar, crushed red pepper, celery seed, and oregano, and some salt and pepper. Now this is basically all the ingredients. So you're just pouring all of them in, and then I'm just going to stir it up, and then you're going to want to bring this to a boil. So stir it all up, make sure that everything is combined, and bring the soup to a boil. And you can break up the tomatoes with the back of a spoon during this part, but it's not completely necessary because we are going to blend this soup so that it is all one uniform mixture. So if you don't feel like breaking them up, you don't need to do that. Alrighty, so for the time that I want it to boil, I put a lid over my pot because I just wanted it to boil quicker, and I thought that would help. And so you can see, it's at a boil, so now I'm reducing the heat to a medium low, and I am going to cook for about 10 minutes. So yes, you do have to do some waiting in between, like wait, until it boils and then this, but this recipe is really simple, and I definitely think it's worth it. Alrighty, so now that my soup has been cooking for 10 minutes, it is time to blend. Now you could scoop your mixture into a blender, however, I own this like Cuisinart little blender thing, and it's great for stuff like this, like soups, stuff like that. And you just want to be careful if you're using an immersion blender, that's what it's called, like this, that you're not scraping the bottom of your pan, and you don't want to lift up because you will spray things everywhere. Whatever you choose to do, whether you use an immersion blender or scoop it into a regular blender, it's going to be perfectly fine. And you might think, oh, do I really have to do this step? Yes, I mean, I do, because I think that you really do, because, you know, you've got like chunks of onion and like, you know, the tomato chunks, and it's just like way better if you just blend it all up. This took me a couple minutes, but again, really, really simple step, and just be really careful with the immersion blender because you don't want to spray everything all over. Also, if you do use a blender, be careful if your blender is plastic because you don't want the blender to melt because of the hot things. So yeah, I just blended it all up until it was one uniform mixture. And this is the final product of the soup. So smooth, so delicious. It was really hot, but I did taste it, and it was so good. I highly, highly recommend this recipe if you like tomato soup. Also want to note, the recipe did have like a recipe for like a buttered crouton to add to this, but I didn't want to do that because instead I made a delicious grilled cheese to pair with it. And that is going to be the Foodie Friday video. So make sure to check that out at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Friday. Alrighty guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Cooks by Carrie. I post lots of photos of the food I cook. And that's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.